The 7 mistakes you have to avoid when selling your house for top dollar in Champaign County. And in this case, what you don't know will hurt you. Hi everybody, I'm Jay Leman. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel, and I break down all things real estate. I'm getting very specific for people wanting to sell their home in Champaign County in 2022 on this video, and the 7 mistakes you have to avoid. You know, your house is oftentimes your largest investment and your biggest tax break. Have I got your attention yet? Largest investment, biggest tax break. Let me explain. Most people's lion's share of the wealth is tied up in their house, specifically the equity in their house. So marketing and selling their house for top dollar is very important to the wealth of that individual. Secondly, all the gains you make on your primary residence, if you've lived there for over 2 years, are tax-free, up to $250,000 or up to $500,000 if you're married. That's why it's so critical to get the most out of your house when you go to sell it. And if you can avoid these 7 mistakes, you will be able to sell your house for top dollar in Champaign County. Quick side note, if you like to read stuff rather than watch videos, get my 7 mistakes to avoid when selling your house for top dollar ebook, okay? This will tell you all the mistakes that people make in Champaign County when selling their house for top dollar that you can avoid. It's totally free, right? I'll put the link in the description as well. Ton of value right here. Okay, let's get back to the video. Mistake number 1 that you must avoid is pricing your house too high. I know you want to get top dollar, but if you price it way above the other comparable properties in your neighborhood and in your market, your house will get stale as it stays on the market longer than other competitively priced houses. If you'll price it exactly what the comps say it should be priced at, you will get multiple offers in a hot seller's market. When there's multiple offers on that first weekend or two when your house is listed, what ends up happening is emotion kicks in. And emotion for a seller is your best friend. Because when people make emotional decisions, the budget tends to go up, 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 and through the roof, and you get to sell your house for top dollar. Because as there's an offer, and somebody says that's worth it in this market, that house is actually worth $500,000 or it's worth $300,000, and they make an offer, and then other people see that property, we're able to get multiple offers on that property, driving the price up, and then ask for the highest and best offer. When buyers compete, the seller like you wins. So do not overprice your house. Number 2, house unpreparation. People just don't prepare their house to sell. First of all, clear out all the clutter of your house. Secondly, go through each room and fix any cosmetic issues there are. Maybe there's a little bit of hole in the wall, maybe there's a little paint. And thirdly, don't go overboard doing total remodel jobs. Just clean, declutter, and do some paint. That gives you the best bang for your buck. I've had sellers that simply take 6 to 12 months to fix up their house, and they miss the hottest time to sell their house. And that's the problem when you try to do too much. So make sure that you prepare the house, but you don't go overboard. Yes, it needs to be decluttered, it needs to be cleaned. Paint can always help, but don't go overboard and add additions on the house or remodel your kitchen. You simply won't get your money back out of that work when it comes to selling your house in Champaign County. Mistake number 3 when selling your property for top dollar in Champaign County is this: taking your own photos. Listen, I know your iPhone 13 has the 357 megapixel camera and it's got portrait mode and all these cool features, but you are not a professional photographer. And in the COVID era, when people love to window shop or look online or look on Zillow or Realtor.com before they ever go in a house, their first impression are those photos they see on their phone. And if they're not taken by a professional, you're losing out to the competition in your market, and your house will sell for less. I can tell you right now, the price of photos is nowhere near the cost that it'll cost you for not getting professional photos. So make sure you get professional photos. The 4th mistake to avoid if you want to sell your house for top dollar in Champaign County is this: foregoing the pre-inspection. What's the pre-inspection? You see, every property usually has an inspection. But the problem is that inspection is oftentimes after the deal is negotiated. You might sell your house for $300,000, but the negotiations on the inspection could run up to $5,000 or $10,000, and now you're only walking away with $290,000. And the problem is there's two big contingencies when it comes to the contract in Champaign County. That's the inspection contingency and that's the finance contingency, meaning buyers can back out after inspection period if there's something wrong with the property, or if their financing falls through for that property, they can back out. And both those contingencies allow the buyer to get all of their earnest money back. But the pre-inspection takes care of all those items up front. Think about it like a physical for your home, okay? You go to the doctor every year to get a physical to see, hey, what's working right, what's not working, what maybe needs a little tune-up. That's the same for your house. You get a pre-inspection, you then fix some of the items on the pre-inspection that your realtor suggests that you fix that may be issues for a potential buyer. You then list the house for sale with the pre-inspection and say, no inspection contingency preferred, meaning you want them to use your pre-inspection and you want them to agree to the fixes you've already done, so it's all negotiated up front. And the dollar amount you get at the sale of your house, hopefully when you get those multiple offers because you priced it right, is the dollar amount that you get to take home, because you're not getting nickel and dime to death by 1,000 paper cuts for all these little or big inspection issues, because you got out in front of it and got a pre-inspection done. Mistake number 5 when trying to sell your house for top dollar in Champaign County is waiting for the right time. Let me just tell you right now, there is no right time in Champaign County. Do a lot of people buy and sell in the springtime because we're tied a lot to the University of Illinois and there's a lot of renters that become homeowners during that time? Absolutely. But there's also low inventory in the fall and in the summer. And there's still buyers out there just begging to buy a house, and that house could be yours. So it all evens it out. If you can avoid these mistakes, you're gonna put yourself in the best position to sell for top dollar. Because a lot of times, because the inventory is so low in the fall in Champaign County, the price of the house can go even higher than even in the spring. Now the spring, the inventory might be more, but the demand is higher because there's more buyers. So it all evens out, and there is no perfect time to list a house for sale. Number 6 mistake I see people make all the time, and that is this. They believe the buyer over the banker, meaning the buyer says, I can afford your $500,000 house, no problem. People believe that, but they don't ask for proof. I always say this, trust but verify. And in this case, don't believe the buyer, believe the banker. Go to the banker and ask, hey, can this person actually afford this house? What kind of loan would they be using? How much money down would they be putting down? Are they gonna buy this house contingent on selling their house, or can they buy it outright? Are they gonna use a conventional loan, an FHA loan, a VA loan, a USDA loan? What kind of loan are they using? And what difference does that make to me? All these are questions that you need to know. So don't believe the buyer, believe the banker, and make sure you vet the finances and the qualifications of your buyer to make sure that they can afford the house that you are trying to sell for the dollar amount that you are trying to get out of it. Mistake number 7, and this is the last mistake, and it's a big one. It's selling your house by owner rather than using a realtor. People sell their house by owner because they think they can do it themselves, and they think that they can save on the realtor fee. And they might be able to do that, but it's gonna cost them a lot of time, and it ends up usually costing them a lot of money. A lot of times, they make the 6 mistakes that I just mentioned that a realtor can help you prevent making. Those 6 mistakes are this. The buy owner wants to list it super high and the house gets stale on the market and doesn't get multiple offers or doesn't sell right away. Secondly, the house is not prepared. It's not decluttered. It's also not staged correctly, and it's not touched up the way it is. Sometimes it is, but usually it's not. Number 3 is taking your own photos. I see buy owners take their photos all the time off their iPhone, and it just looks really, really low quality when compared to professional photography, especially when you're streaming through listings on Zillow or on Realtor.com. Number 4, they don't even know about the pre-inspection. They don't know about the inspection contingency, so they don't get a pre-inspection to deal with all those issues up front, so they end up losing a lot of money during the inspection process. Number 5, buy owners are always waiting for the right time to sell, and I just mentioned there is no right time to sell. And number 6, the buy owners often believe the buyer instead of the banker and don't know if that buyer is even pre-qualified to buy their house at the amount that was agreed upon. So, in order to avoid these 7 mistakes, if you'll just avoid number 7, which is doing it by owner instead of a realtor, and you choose a qualified realtor to help you list your house in Champaign County, you'll avoid those 7 mistakes. I help people sell their house for top dollar all the time in Champaign County. Sometimes it's multiple offers, sometimes it's not, but we always go through these steps. And when we go through these steps, we give our sellers the best chance to get top dollar for their home in Champaign County. If this brought you value, would you subscribe? Would you ring that notification bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video? I want to be your realtor in Champaign County. I want to get you top dollar. I want to help you avoid these 7 mistakes when it comes to selling your house for top dollar. Subscribe, tell your friends. See you next time.